Hey fellas, Meat Trapper here. Now today we're going to butcher our turtle. Now there are two different ways that you can butcher a turtle, and that depends on what you're going to do with the turtle. The first method is when you're going to use the turtle to make turtle soup. When you make turtle soup, you're going to leave the skin on and you're going to use the shell. Now since you're leaving the skin on and using the shell, what you'll need to do is you'll need to have a big tub of boiling water. And what you do is you douse that turtle in the boiling water and you use a stainless steel brush, a scrub brush, and you scrub the shell and you scrub the skin clean. And when you're done, that skin will be almost white. So that's an extra step that you have to do if you're going to be making turtle soup. The other way, and the way I'm going to do it today, is for when you're going to fry the turtle meat or use the turtle meat by itself in another recipe. In my case, I like a Cajun turtle sauce piquant, and so I'm going to use the straight turtle meat. So in that case, I'm not going to be using the shell and I'm not going to be using the skin, so I can skip the step of dousing the turtle in boiling water. So I save that step, but I have an extra step of taking the skin off the turtle, which is a little more work. So let me show you what tools you're going to need. Okay, the first thing that you're going to need is a working surface, and I like to have an upside down nail in it. Just drive the nail in from the bottom so it's sticking up. What that's going to do, that's going to allow us to turn the turtle upside down and impale the turtle on that nail. That's going to hold him in place so I can easily rotate the turtle and I can pull the turtle and he's not going to be sliding all over the place. This right here saves a lot of time. It's a good idea always to have gloves. Keep your hands clean. Make sure you don't pick up anything. You're going to need a hammer. You're going to need some snips or some nippers to take the claws off. Now this is not required, but this is very handy. These are catfish pliers, and this makes grabbing that skin and pulling the skin really easy. That saves a lot of work. You'll need a fillet knife, and you'll need a rough knife, and a hatchet. Butchering a turtle is not a delicate job. It's work, and it's a lot of hard work. But if you have the right tools, it'll make a tough job go a little bit easier. One last thing is I like to have a tub of water or a bucket of water, and as I clean the meat and cut the meat loose, I'll drop it in the tub of water. That does a couple of things. Number one, it's going to keep flies from getting on your meat. Normally when you're butchering a turtle, you're dealing with some hot weather, and the flies will draw pretty quick. And number two, if it's 95 or 100 degrees outside, if you've got some nice cool water that's 70, 75 degrees, it's going to help cool that meat down quick. So that's just an extra step that I like to take. Makes it a little bit easier. Now, the hammer is used to knock the turtle in the head and dispatch the turtle. I'm going to show you how I do this, but I'm not going to show the actual dispatch on film. I don't like to do that. So let's go ahead and get prepped for that. Now the best way that I know of to dispatch a turtle is to simply hold him up. You'll notice how his neck comes out. He's going to stick his head out like that, presenting a perfect target for your hammer. And so all you need to do is to lay him down on a block and give him a good solid whack right on top of the head. Now once the turtle has been dispatched, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab his mouth and hold it shut. Now turtle has a lot of clamping power with their mouth closing, but they don't have a lot of clamping power to open their mouth. So I can grab him just like that and expose that neck and take the head off. So I'm going to shut the camera off and we'll be back after I've done that. Okay, I've got the head off the turtle. I've got him impaled on the upside down nail. Now the next thing I do is I want to take these claws off, because you can see every time you touch this turtle for hours, he's going to move. He's going to keep moving and he will claw you. You can see how that works. So we want to nip all of these claws off. Now, a lot of people are not used to an animal moving around this much after he's been dispatched, and it'll kind of freak you out a little bit at first, but you gotta get used to it. Now, this step is especially important if you're going to use the turtle for soup, because you're going to leave the skin on. Now, in my case, I'm going to end up cutting these feet off, but I just wanted to show you this trick so that you would know how to do it and why. Now, the basic process of skinning a turtle is basically to cut all the way around the shell. You want to separate the bottom shell from the top shell, and we're going to cut all along through here to get the skin off. So let's go ahead and get started here. You can see the ability to spin that turtle around really makes life easier. I'm just going to skin that back, just like that. Now, turtle has two kinds of meat on it. It has red meat and white meat. And that's the red meat right there. You'll be surprised how much meat is on a turtle. It's quite a bit. You can see this is where your pliers come in handy. That really makes it nice. Now what I want you to notice, that's the white meat right there on the throat. Those are the two kinds of meat that a turtle has. You can see that's the neck muscles right there. White meat and red meat. Now I'm just going to continue that all the way around. Now when you get back here and you're going to process the vent area, let me show you how to do that. You basically want to make a V cut right there. Now you can see when you take those nails off. And now let's cut around. I'm going to pull as much of that out as I can. Okay. Now you can see the advantage of cleaning that turtle out. It makes that job go a lot quicker. Now I'm just going to continue to skin on around. Okay, now you can see I've got all the skin removed. So now I'm going to remove the bottom plate. All you're going to do is cut through here as Sometimes that thing can be tough. Tell you what, I'll just snip it. Yeah, that wants to stick today. There. That one is tough. Most of the time I can cut right through them. And we're just going to slice that off as close to the bottom plate as we can. There we go. Now, a little trick is, if you dry these, put them out in the sun, let them dry, you can give them to your dogs and let them chew on them. That's just cartilage, basically, is all it is. And a little bit of meat on it. Now at this point, we're going to take the neck, which is the white meat. We're going to take 2 front shoulders, 2 hind quarters, and on a turtle this size, there's really not a whole lot of meat there, so we're going to cut the tail off. And then the bottom, under the shell on the bottom, will be the back straps, and that'll complete the cleaning process. So now I'm going to switch to my fillet knife, because what I'm going to be doing is basically I'm going to be cutting along that shell. I'm going to be reaching up under there and just getting that fillet knife to bend and conform to that shell. And I'm going to be separating all these quarters. Now this is the turtle's fat, and I'm going to take that off. I'm going to trim that off, and then I'm going to put it in my tub of water. Do the same thing on the other shoulder here. I'll cut it loose. Now, to get the neck off, the neck is basically very firmly attached to the shell right there. That's where your hatchet comes in. Go. And that is the neck meat, the white meat. Now I need the back straps, the hind quarters, back legs. Let's trim that up. Okay, fellas, now we're down to the back straps. As you can see, the back straps are basically held in by a plate of bone. Once again, we're going to have to snip our way through this. See, nothing is easy. You got to work for everything. At this point, it's just like getting a backstrap out of a deer or beaver or any other animal. You just got to get under there and get it. Alright, now at this point you would think this is ready to eat, but it's not. That is a very tough tendon right down the middle of that. You're going to need to remove that before you cook it. You remove that tendon, and then once you do, this stuff is ready to just pan fry. This is super good meat. That's the prime cut right there. Once you remove that tendon, once you cut that tendon out. We'll do that once we get inside. And we'll do the other one the same way. Now you can see this is the head. Now I'm just going to pull this back on the top. You can see there is a nice chunk of meat right there. There's his nose. There's one on each side. Those are the muscles that give the snapper the snap. I have cleaned a lot of these, and I have never found a brain. I have no idea where their brain is located or if they even have one. I don't know if you can tell, but that is rock hard. That muscle, see how tender that is right there? And then he tensed up right there. It is amazing, the strength of that muscle. And I'm trying to get all the way up there and get all of it out. Right there. That and the back strap, excuse me, that and the back strap are the two prime cuts on a turtle. So anyway, fellas, that's pretty much it. As you can see, fooling with turtles is not easy. It's hard, hot, dirty work. So you might ask yourself, why bother? Well, the reason that I bother is it's a skill that I need to keep in practice with. It's a perishable skill, catching them and butchering them. Number two, a lot of armchair survivalists or internet survivalists are always talking about how they're going to be hunting when the crap hits the fan or the grid goes down. Let me tell you something, not many people know how to fool with turtles, and if you do, there is a tremendous food source that's going to be swimming right past most people. And they're going to have no idea that it's there or no idea how to harvest it. And so it would pay for you to learn those skills. That's why I do it. So I hope this has been useful and perhaps you've learned something. Stay tuned. The next episode in this series we'll be doing some cooking, and I'll do a Cajun sauce piquant, and that's what it's all about, good food. Thanks a lot, fellas.